I hate to start on a down note, but it is the news of the day, so we got to go there. John Gruden, who finally I say may because they may have been exposed a little bit this past game against the LA Chargers.
Still 3-1.
But he may, 3-1. He may have finally gotten the Las Vegas Raiders on track in his fourth season there. He's yet to have a winning record, but he's got the big 10-year, $100 million contract. But anyway.
All guaranteed. Don't forget
all guaranteed, yes. Something that happened a decade ago, literally 10 years and a few months ago. John Gruden was working at ESPN, and we all remember, his quarterback show and what was it, quarterback camp or whatever it was called. And he was broadcasting. But this was during a potential lockout with the between the Players Association and the NFL. And, of course, the head of the Players Association is DeMaurice Smith, who's an African-American. And Gruden sent an email to Bruce Allen, who was then the president of the Washington football team, Rob. And the email said this: DeMaurice, DeMauriss. Now, his name is spelled DeMaurice. It's DeMaurice, but it's spelled DeMaurice. So he played on his name and it didn't insinuate. I mean, he basically stated that he's dumb. All right. And he said, DeMaurice Smith has lips the size of Michelin tires. Now, that's racist. That's all that is.
Plain and simple. You could say whatever you want to say. Like this whole notion, and Chris, I'm just
It would be like saying, Rob, he has skin dark as tar or something like that.
Right, tar baby, or some term
his
like that.
His hair is like, some negative term or something.
Brillo
like that.
pad.
Yeah. Has hair like it's racial. Don't and people
don't
out
get
there,
it twisted.
Right. That's just it's racial.
Yes.
All right. So go ahead, Rob.
And I want to say this. What bothers me the most is that he felt comfortable enough to write an email, Chris. This wasn't even like overheard or a conversation. Do you know what thought goes into writing something down and sitting at a typewriter or a computer screen, a laptop or a computer and writing that down and hitting the send button, Chris? You didn't just blurt something out and you misspoke or you know what I mean, or you got caught up in a moment. You have to take your time to sit down and write this and still hit a button to send it, right?
Yep.
That's what bothers me the most about this.
I hear you. And not only him, but who he wrote it to. Rob, there's certain people you can send something to, right?
Yes.
You can say something to. And other people you would never say something to because you don't think they'd be on, in agreement with what you said. So this doesn't look good for Bruce Allen either. I know he's not there anymore with Washington, but
tells you how comfortable John Gruden was, right? And that this would be welcomed in and not rejected, Chris, or where Allen would go, what did you just write?
Right,
you know what I mean? Like you wouldn't write it. You know
he
who
might
you're
have sent
talking
him
to.
back LOL for all we know.
Exactly.
Who knows? So look, it happened a decade ago. Gruden wasn't working for the NFL. He wasn't working for the Raiders. So I don't know what I'm not saying you fire him, fine him, whatever. But what it does is it shows you it's a window into his thoughts. And you are in a league that is 70% African American. And I'm just going to state this, Rob, and tell me if you think I'm wrong. I bet several players in his locker room have lips dissimilar in size to DeMaurice Smith. I can't even picture DeMaurice Smith's lips right now, but I'm just saying. You know what I mean?
I can't either.
Probably a lot of people on his team have, lips is the same size as DeMaurice Smith or close. And so Rob, if somebody wrote an email saying Christians are dumb, are they going to work in the church?
Right.
Are they going to work around a Christian ministry?
You would hope not. You would
That's the
think
problem. Right. And you just insulted black people. You didn't just insult DeMaurice Smith. You took a common physical trait of African Americans and made fun of it.
Yep.
And you're working in a league that is 70% African American. I mean, it's kind of like we talked about with Urban Meyer. I mean, obviously they have more leeway to discipline Urban Meyer however they want. The team, right? The league, the team, whatever. But it's similar in that is this going to impact the way the locker room feels about John Gruden?
Well, there you go. That's what you don't know. That's the X factor. Now, Chris, if there are any players in there who had an inkling to say, I don't know if he's treating me right. You know what I mean? Because right. I think he got an issue or there's a problem. There's a feel you have. You know it. I know it. Is this guy cool with black people or he got an issue? I mean, we're going to keep it real on this show. Right, Chris? And
absolutely.
When we work in places and situations with bosses and people, there's that. Black people talk amongst themselves about how cool somebody is and whether or not you feel you're getting a fair shake for everybody or not. Was this guy favoring other people or holding us down because, he don't feel comfortable? Whatever it is. But there might be some players in there now saying, oh, okay. I always thought there was something about him. I couldn't put my finger on it. And now this tells me all I need to know. And again, he felt comfortable enough to write this.
And I don't know,
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles.
Rob, is this a leap? But like you said, he felt comfortable writing it. He sent it to a president of a team. Did he send this? Did he say things like this around other people in the league? But when you see things like this, and then you look at how African Americans consistently get passed over for authoritative jobs, I'm talking head coach, I'm talking front office positions, right? Like leadership positions.
Right. There's a lot of jobs that we can get, but not the big ones, right?
This is the type of stuff that you look at and say, that's a part of the problem. That's a part of the problem. If you feel this way, you can't take it out on your linebacker. You need that black linebacker. You can't take it out on your wide receivers. You need those black wide receivers. But a subjective job, Rob, a job that far more people can do than those that can play football. A subjective job like an assistant GM, right? Even a head coach. That's something where this is where it comes into play. People have biases. People have prejudices. All types of people, all right? But the problem is when you are in a position of authority and you have those biases and prejudices and they come into play, yes, that's where the problem is. And John Gruden, Bruce Allen are in positions of authority. And they can control whether an African-American or another person of color gets a job. And if you have these types of attitudes, it's a problem.
It is. And only time will tell. I mean, for us, we can't make no snap decision. He wasn't with the Raiders at the time. Does that mean that the Raiders can't discipline him, Chris? No, they could do whatever. You work for us now.
Right.
You have these kind of things. They could put out a statement. We're against language like that. We're very disheartened that
they should put out a statement.
Right. That John Gruden would write something like that offends many black people, including the players in our locker room. That's what should at the minimum, Chris.
Right.
At the minimum.
Absolutely.
To let people know that we're not with it as an organization. Okay. And we didn't know about this. We hired him. He's our coach. Whatever. We didn't know about this, but this would not be acceptable. And I'll give you a perfect example real quick. I remember a columnist got in trouble for, I don't know, making something up in a column or whatever. Not at our paper, but at another paper.
In Detroit?
Yeah. And you know what happened?
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but we got a letter, Chris.
Big time
right.
columnist. Yeah.
But we got a letter at our paper, right? That said point blank, if we were to do it, we would be fired. So they were letting people know.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like that happened, and whatever happens with them is their business. But we're telling you,
right?
If you do that here,
won't fly here.
That won't fly, and that's what I'm talking about when we talk about the letter that maybe the Raiders could put out.
That's a great point, Rob, and the NFL should put out a statement too. The NFL and the Raiders, and the Raiders have, Rob, owner Mark Davis, who obviously loves John Gruden, hired him. Here's what he said. This is a statement officially. The content of an email regarding DeMaurice Smith from John Gruden when he worked for ESPN 10 years ago is disturbing and not what the Raiders stand for. We were first made aware of the email late yesterday by a reporter and are reviewing it along with other materials provided to us today by the NFL. We are addressing the matter with Coach Gruden and will have no further comment at this time. So,
bravo. That's what the Raiders
good.
should.
And I don't know, is there other stuff out there? Like they said, they're investigating. So if there's more stuff like this now, it could really go to another level, if there is. Your turn to weigh in on the John Gruden email situation. What are your thoughts?
All right, let's kick it off with trucker Justin in Wisconsin. You're on The Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Justin?
Gentlemen.
Very nice. Thank you.
Yes, we always love that, my man.
I'm going to keep the expletives out. I know you're on a delay, but when you guys first started speaking, I'm like, are you effing kidding me? This dude said this? This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous, man. I mean, how you do one thing is how you do everything. What is he standing behind all the players' backs in private with other 60-year-old white coaches? Problem is, you have an entire NFL being ran by 60-plus-year-old white men. Of course they're racist. Of course they talk, that behind their back. It's ridiculous, man. People need to vote with their dollars and literally stop watching some of these teams when this stuff comes out.
Strong words, man. Hey, we appreciate it. That's fire.
It's ugly, but he's right. I mean, people, Chris, if that's not a part of you, you wouldn't use it. Like I can remember. This is just another quick one. Someone saying, "Hey, you remember the mayor of D.C. He got set up to go smoke crack with some old girlfriend, right? You remember that?
Yep.
And then people was like, "Oh, I got set up, or whatever." But if I don't smoke crack, you can't set me up.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
You just got set up to get caught. But you're right. I can't get set up for smoking crack.
I don't smoke crack.
There's no way you can get set me up.
I don't care who you call with or tell me to meet you at the hotel. I don't.
Right.
So that whole, I got set up. No, you smoke crack. That's what you do.
Here's the other thing, right? Here was Gruden's statement, because he made a comment. I don't know if I wouldn't call it official statements necessarily, but he was asked about it. He said, "I'm really sorry. I was upset. I used a horrible way of explaining it. I don't think he's dumb," speaking about DeMaurice Smith. "I don't think he's a liar. I don't have a racial bone in my body, and I've proven that for 58 years. Oh, that's where it's like, oh, really?
Yeah, okay.
Really?
Right. Okay.
You don't have a racial bone. Come, stop it, man. Come on.
All right. Nobody's perfect. Hey, Mark in Sacramento, you're on The Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What up, Mark?
What's going on, gentlemen?
What's up? We get that pregnant pause. We know
that's
where that
right. We was waiting on it. Go ahead.
We ain't mad.
Real quick on this one. Being an over 50-year Raider fan, Al Davis would not subscribe to any of this stuff. He hired minorities and women in higher places for decades with the Raiders.
So I'm glad they put the first black head coach and the first black Hispanic coach. So Al Davis wasn't. I'm with you on that, and the Raiders organization. I'm with you.
Exactly, and I wonder now, a little over 10 years ago now, does it have something to do with Al Davis trading John Gruden's ass to Tampa Bay? Has to make me think. Did he find out? Did he know some of these thoughts? Did he?
It's possible.
Good question. You never know, Mark. Thanks. But we will say that, Chris, about the Raiders organization, right?
No, Al Davis was known for that.
Exactly.
Definitely.
That was no issue.
All right, our next guest is a former NFL quarterback, co-host now of the Nightcap on VSIN.
My homie.
And VSiN, known as VSiN. Also a member of that noble clan, Kappa Alpha Psi, frat brother. What's up, Noob Sean King? What's happening, man?
What up?
Yo, Noob, what's going on?
Yo, it's good to have you on the show, my man.
Hey, thanks for having me.
I can't believe you moved from Florida to Vegas, man. Just shocked me. Man.
Well, listen, I love Florida, but I love my pockets more. So I'm pulling from my
understand.
pockets with this move.
I get it.
You got that. Those pockets can go either way in Vegas.
That's right.
So you got to be careful.
Them pockets got fatter.
We're just stacking chips right now. We didn't stop having kids until a year ago. So
Hey,
Okay.
And let me say this. I've seen the picture of his kids. Absolutely beautiful family. Oh my God. Beautiful.
I appreciate that.
No, for real.
I
for real.
appreciate that.
You know that.
That is
hey,
great.
Hey, let's Chris, we're gonna jump on the John Gruden and the letter. You played for him. And you
Tampa
saw the
Bay. Yep.
the whole story about this email he sent back in 2011, 10 years ago. What do you make of this, and what's the reaction you think some players are going to feel about John Gruden after hearing the terms that he used in that email?
I don't think it's going to have like a huge impact, just in my opinion, because it happened in 2011. So it's not something recent. I think guys, judge their head coach based on how he treats them. And from everything I've heard, the guys, on the Raiders, they like John. He treats them like men. But the moral of this story is, man, Herm Edwards said it best: you just can't press send. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that he said that, but you don't know the context. Not that there is a right or wrong context, but you just have to be so careful, whether it's a text, an email, a tweet, a post on Instagram. I mean, because things never seem to die, in this current America.
Sean, I hear you, but I also, come on, man. I think you're giving him a little bit of a pass from the standpoint, you can't write that. I'm sorry. You might slip up. When you sit in front of a laptop and you write an email to somebody and you talk about somebody's lips being the size of Michelin tires, I got a problem with that. And
and Chris, let me respond. Here's what I was taught by my father. My father said, listen, you're going to get emotional as a human. And words are generally based on emotion, anger, happiness, whatever. But he said, your actions dictate your character. So I'm much more quick to forgive somebody for saying or tweeting or texting something if their actions don't match up to it. And having played for John, having had a lot of people play for John, we haven't always seen eye to eye. But at least in my experiences, there was never any racist connotation towards whatever energy me and him had going on.
Do you think, because we see African Americans continue to get passed over for head coaching jobs, front office
jobs, and big jobs?
Yeah, and this goes beyond Gruden because he sent it to Bruce Allen, who was president at the time of the Washington football team, so a person in authority. Obviously, felt comfortable sending that to Bruce. Do you think these attitudes, or have you seen them within the NFL, and do you think they're persistent there? And that's a part of the problem as far as why we don't see, why we see African Americans passed over for head coaching jobs, even though they're clearly qualified?
Yeah, I definitely think that's an issue from a head coaching standpoint, from a general manager standpoint. And on the offensive side of the football, you can take it to the offensive coordinator and quarterback coach. You just don't see a lot of men of color in those positions. And, it's sad. It's unfortunate. It's not just something I think that's plaguing the National Football League, but I think it's plaguing, it's an issue in college as well. So how do you change it? I don't know. Here's the thing about the NFL, guys. It's the biggest monopoly in the world. It's only 32 of these companies in the entire world. And they kind of have shown in the recent past and, in history altogether, they kind of do what they want. And then they figure out how to make the narrative fit so that they can make more money moving forward. So, I don't actually have the answer on how to change it. It is a problem and it does exist. But, how do you change it?
You change it with the Strong Players Union and not allowing them to do that to your membership. But that's another story. We'll be here forever.
Yeah, because history says out of the three leagues, our union has definitely been the one that kind of has given in the quickest.
It's the weakest.
no
and
doubt.
not
been
even
willing
close.
to stand up.
Not even
it's
close.
by far the weakest unit.
Exactly. Yeah. Not even close. All right. Let's talk about Seattle and Russell Wilson. Could be gone for, what is it? Is it
4 to 8 weeks?
4 to 8
he
weeks.
just had surgery earlier on his finger. He ruptured a tendon in his finger, and he had surgery today, and he's out 4 to 8 weeks.
So basically, I didn't think the Seahawks were going to make the playoffs. I thought they were on their way the other way, especially when you look at how terrible their defense is. But this is a blow. This might be the beginning of the end for the Seahawks. How do you see it?
I think I agree with you on every point there. I think what happened was in that division, the Seahawks kind of moved into this new subdivision before everyone else. But now everyone else has bought a lot and is building a big house in the subdivision as well. And when you look at the Rams, the Cardinals, the Niners, they've all caught up with them. Seattle's probably the least talented team in the division, you know, when you look at their top 22. You know, as far as the injury, it stinks for Russell because I don't know if a lot of people know this. He's never missed a start since coming into the NFL. So this is a huge streak that's ended, you know, but also, I mean, who knew that Geno Smith was the backup quarterback in Seattle? I mean,
I had no idea. When he came out last
He
night,
looked good.
I know.
He looked good, and he's going to get the chance to get the chance to do it.
Yeah, but I needed
obviously.
I needed a touchdown to win some shekels last night, and of course they could kick a field goal.
Well, I'm super excited for Geno. He's a guy that, you know, was given too much too fast. And, I mean, I think it's been proven. I don't care who you are. The Jets are just a snake-bit organization. Jets and Lions have no shot, you know, unless they put them in the CFL to be successful, it seems. So hopefully, you know, he gets this opportunity and takes advantage of it because I like to see quarterbacks of color get second opportunities to go and right some of the wrongs they may have made their first time as starters.
Let me ask you, I'm glad you went there, Sean, because you played from 99 to 2004. You were a quarterback. Obviously, you're African-American. And it wasn't like there were no black quarterbacks back then, but it wasn't like it is now. Do you think you really had 1 year where you were a starter? Do you think that had you come into the league now when there are more African-American quarterbacks, you know, running quarterbacks are more welcomed, do you think that things may have been any differently for you now had you come into the league?
Absolutely. I mean, you can't get hit now. I mean, when I played in the NFL, I mean, being tough was like a something you had to go through, like a rite of passage to play the position. Like defensive players could take 2 steps, hit you from the helmet to your toes, drive you into the ground, you know, walk their knee over your face mask and say, "Get up, Trump, I'm going to kill you." You know, I never forget this. We're playing the Raiders, and Romanowski hit me in the back of the head. And he was like, "I'm going to kill you, King." And I looked at him, I say, "Man, I'm somebody's child."
Did he spit on you or no?
No, he didn't spit on me. And I looked at the ref for like some help, and the ref was like, "Get up." So, I mean, the game has evolved and changed so much now that any quarterback that played when I played would have a better opportunity to be successful because there's a comfort that comes with knowing that, okay, if I do take like a really, really vicious hit, it's going to benefit us offensively. So just from that standpoint alone, plus the game is different. You know, when me, McNabb, Achilles Smith, Dante Culpepper, I mean, shotgun was just used in 2-minute situations before the half or the end of the game. You know, teams were still using 2 tight ends or a tight end and a fullback. You know, now everything's spread out. You can really use your athleticism. Guys like Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson, those guys are thriving. So it's a different league, but hopefully some of the sacrifices that we made, you know, they're benefiting from.
That's great stuff, man. We appreciate it. And we've said that. You look at the stats now, and you look at the stats years ago, and you can't compare them because it's the game was different. The game was totally different.
No doubt. Thanks, Sean.
We appreciate you,
Thanks
man.
for having me, fellas.